Hi, Joy. I just wanted to say I am so grateful for you and to have you in my life.
Thank you, Dorothy. My goodness, I'm so grateful for you as well.
It's just a little gratitude party. Um, so hello and welcome everybody to today's episode of Drops of Wellness Wisdom with Dorothy and Joy. We are so grateful that you are here with us.
Am I sensing a little theme here, Dorothy?
I'm not sure how you figured that out, Joy, but yes, you are. Today's topic, we are going to talk about the importance of a gratitude practice.
Excellent, excellent topic. One of my favorites. All right.
Pause for effect. Oh yes, so yes, it is in fact. Today we will be dropping some drops of wellness wisdom about the power of gratitude and how this simple practice can have a profound impact on your health, mental, physical, not just emotional health, but it can affect your overall health.
So, wow, that's really cool. You're saying just being grateful can help you be healthier?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Did you know, as a matter of fact, did you know that it was physically impossible to feel two emotions at the same time?
I guess I've never really thought that through. I think about, they say multitasking isn't, there's no such thing as multitasking, but I never applied it to emotions. So tell me more.
Yes, well, yeah. So when we get in these, and all emotions are valid, there's nothing to say that, depression or anger or, hurt are bad. There's no bad emotions, but it doesn't really serve anybody to sit and live in some of these more negative emotions. So if you're feeling sad or worried or unhappy in some way, if you can just feel the gratitude, that stops right there because you can't feel the sadness or worry and the gratitude at the same time because it's physiologically impossible. So if you want to help yourself kind of get out of this pattern of negative feelings, feel the gratitude and that will flip the switch and your body will, the hormones and all these other things that are responsible for your emotions will flip over into the happier gratitude emotions, and that will help you get out of the more negative emotions.
That's so cool. That's making sense. There's a Wayne Dyer quote our listeners can look up, something about you can't feel bad enough to help a certain situation. So I'm seeing why that makes sense if you're doing your appreciations and your gratitude. So does it last? Like, do you think the benefit of that lasts?
Just stopping the cycle of the negative emotion can potentially take you out of that emotion for an extended period of time, but it might not be like forever.
Okay.
Um, So you will might have to repeatedly feel that gratitude, but the more you practice gratitude, the more it's an integral part of your day and that you're actively feeling the gratitude, the less you will find yourself in some of these more negative states of mind. So you can build up that sort of that gratitude muscle, and by extended practice and daily practice, you will find yourself more in a place of happiness and gratitude than in the negative states. So yes, it's not one gratitude session is not the answer. It's not the ultimate fix.
Sure.
So but it can make that initial switch, and then repeated practice will continue to help you to feel happier on a more regular basis.
Cool stuff. Really good stuff. I know there are times, obviously, when it's hard, like if there's a health issue or financial issue or death or something big, right? It's hard to get positive and happy and cheery. But I like what you're saying. I like that practice. I'm sort of the like annoying one a lot. Like I try to see the positive and the something to be grateful for in just about any situation. But I never really thought about it that it's a muscle I love that you're calling it like a gratitude muscle. I love that. Love that.
Yeah, pretty much any of these lifestyle changes will get stronger with practice, just like your muscles get stronger in the gym. The more you use them, same with your gratitude experience, your gratitude muscle, the more you use it, the better it becomes.
Neat.
So,
So
yeah.
neat.
Yeah, it can be hard if life is overwhelming and if you've just lost somebody or if everything is going wrong in your life, it can seem hard to find something to be grateful for, but there's always something that
Right.
you might have to sit and think about it for a while, but even that, even the practice of actually taking the time and like, oh, I just everything's awful. But if you sit and think on it for a while, there's something to be grateful for. So, and the more you get in the habit of finding these things, the easier they will come to you. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. And I think like we all know that person, or maybe we were that person that just like dwells on the what's going wrong. And I in my work at Dr. Alley's office, when patients come in, sometimes they're like a mess because the traffic or whatever, and I get it. Like you can get that, you can vent a little and get that off your chest, but then like I'll say things like, "Well, it's good that you weren't the one in the accident. Be grateful, you didn't crash, but you still got here." So, there's definitely always something to be grateful for in any situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And, as we all know that everything in this world is energy at its foundation.
Uh,
And your emotions are energy, and the lower emotions vibrate at a lower energy, and
mhm.
the happier emotions vibrate. So your emotion, like those of us, we used to call them when I was a kid Pollyannas, because there was a story about a girl, Pollyanna, who was always happy. So we used to kind of almost like derogatorily to some degree, in some cases, call people Pollyannas when they're always positive. But those of us who tend to see the better things in life, we can change the energy, and don't quote me on any of this, although here it is out there on the YouTube verse. But I was reading this study and I don't remember all the facts and figures, but it was so fascinating. And the basis of this study was um, to talk about the power of positive energy. It was something to do with eggs, and they did a study with eggs. They took eggs from happy, healthy, pasture-raised hens that have
Oh,
just lived out on the grass their whole lives, and they took eggs from the chickens who are in the tiny little cages that only fit their bodies, and the eggs come out, and they did whatever their scientific tests on these eggs to measure whatever they were measuring. See, this is what I don't remember,
yeah.
how they categorized it, but they put the one egg, the happy, healthy egg in the
Hmm.
middle, and all the sad, caged eggs around it. And the one happy egg in the middle changed all the caged
Oh,
eggs to the same vibration as that. So the one healthy egg, happy egg, was able to affect all the bad, unhappy, unhealthy eggs. So
wow.
maybe I will see if I can find that and put it in the show notes at some point, because it was really a fascinating study on the power of the positive emotions and how
Yeah,
they can really create change and affect the people who are needing some of that uplifting. One person can really have an effect on a whole group of people, that the power of the positive over the power of the negative. So
I,
it's a really fascinating study. And I know we're both chicken ladies, so
yeah,
I
you
I
had
love
me at
that.
chickens. Now,
So
I
your eggs are, you should just, if you have people that are sad, bring one of your chicken eggs, and maybe
I know that's so
your
funny.
chicken eggs will make everybody happy, because yeah, it was, everybody kind of expected, as at least as I was interpreting it as they were reading the study, was that all the negative energy was going to negatively affect the one
Sure.
happy egg, but it was the exact opposite. The
Yeah.
single happy egg was able to raise the vibration of all the other eggs. So
So
it was
neat.
very cool. It was a
So
very cool
neat.
study. So yeah, that is the power of positivity, and we make it mocked occasionally for
Yeah.
our positivity, but they need us. They need.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I do try to be aware of being sensitive to, allowing the sadness, or if there's something to be upset about, like I'm not going to squash it and say, "Oh, but be happy the sun's out today," or, you need to allow those, right, and kind of process them, but don't live there. Like you say, it's a low energy, and you don't want to like dwell in that, and then it just will bring you down more, I think. So, and I definitely want to know about that egg study. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
There's another study that, again, I don't have this link either, but maybe we'll find it, about water, about looking at water crystals when they're like screamed at
Yeah,
versus when they're loved.
Moro Sada, I forget his name. Yeah, there's a whole book
Yeah.
on, yeah, even if you just take a water bottle and write a post-it note and write love on the Post-it note and put
Oh,
it on your water, it changes the molecular structure of your water. And the crystals, when they look at them under the microscope, the
yeah.
crystals are beautiful.
Yeah.
Take a Post-it note that says anger or hatred or something bad on it, and you put it on the water and look at the crystals.
Yeah.
It's like ugly.
Yeah.
It's ugly. So yes, it's fascinating.
So
It's
how do we describe beautiful snowflakes?
right.
I
Yeah.
actually love snow, so maybe I have prettier snowflakes than other people, but
Maybe. And there was another study, and I don't even, I'll have to look at this one too, because it was kind of based on the water study, but she was actually making ice, I think. She was making ice, I think, with happy water and sad water. I don't even remember
yeah.
anyway. So I don't even know why I brought that up because I have no idea what that was about. But it just the power of positive energy and positive and emotions are energy is yeah. And Hal Elrod, I know that a lot of people have read and he like the whole don't dwell on like all your emotions are valid and don't try
Hmm.
and put them aside, live them, be them, experience them. They're all valid. But like Hal says, set it if something horrible happens and you know the worst thing and somebody made you really mad, set a timer for 5 minutes and just be as angry as you want. Just throw pillows and yell and scream and be mad. But once that timer goes off, put it away.
Yeah.
Just put, and it might, you might need more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
I need five
that's
more.
okay too. But the point being, give yourself time, give yourself permission to feel it, but then put it away
Yeah.
because it doesn't serve you or anyone else to continue to live in that negative emotion.
Yeah. So true. Good, good stuff.
Yeah, because I know, and we were talking about this off camera. Our husbands tend to be like when they're, because I know mine and yours as well. They're so handy around the house, and I for one am so grateful for
Yes.
that. That we don't have to call in somebody every time something. He can fix almost anything in the house, and
Mhm.
but when things are, and we live in a really old house. Our house was built in the 1800s, and so things are very often going wrong. And when you try and fix them, it's not an easy fix. So he gets very cranky, and I have a tendency to feed off that rather than try and, I'm like, don't let it get you so mad, but that just makes him madder. And rightfully so, it would
Yeah.
probably make me madder too,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so it's harder to find the things to be grateful, but I'm like the one that's like, but be grateful that ultimately you can fix it yourself, but
Right.
that kind of, I don't know if you want to hear this, I don't know if it's more funny or embarrassing for us, but anyway.
Oh, go ahead. Let it out.
Have in our house, it's again, it's an old house and the wiring in it is it's very odd. There's like switches, like there's two switches for we cannot understand how it was wired.
Okay.
And there's ceiling fans in like almost every room. And in the kitchen, there's a ceiling fan that turns on with a remote control
Okay.
and for the light and the ceiling fan. And it has a pull cord, but you don't use the pull cord. But one time during family dinner, my daughter, I mean, my kids are all in their 40s, so it's not like she's young. She pulled the light to turn it on, not thinking because the light goes on with a switch, but the fan goes on with the remote, and
Hmm.
it's a big mess anyway. So she pulled the switch, and the chain popped off,
Oh
which
no.
is fine. It was no big deal. So because we use the remote anyway. So then later we couldn't get the in the my kitchen is not well lit anyway. So this dim little light is the only light we have in our kitchen and we couldn't get it to work. And my husband it was making my husband crazy and we couldn't he was like taking things apart and the remote control
Oh
and we
no.
had no light in our kitchen. So we were
Oh,
like, oh dear. So and he does not like to call in people when it's something he
sure.
knows he should be able to fix. But we had no light in the kitchen, so eventually we had to give in. So we called the neighbors, got some recommendations for electrician, called the electrician. He comes over, he unscrews the thing that cut the cover for the light, and there's what's left of the little pull cord. He pulls it,
Ta-da.
voila! Right.
Let there be
So when
light.
my daughter had pulled the cord and broke it, it just what was left of the cord, we didn't even think to take the cover off and look for the rest of the cord to pull it. Even and so my husband, of course, is like
Oh
mortified. Here's
no.
this, and the electrician was so nice, and he was like, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I charged you more than like
Oh,
twenty
good.
dollars. And he was so nice. He was like, But my husband was very angry and embarrassed
Oh
because
no.
I get it, because it was like if we had just taken off the cover and pulled the cord,
Right. You were overthinking it or
overthinking it exactly, like because of all the
well,
crazy electronics. It was so that's sort of my where like the gratitude should have come in, but maybe didn't. So,
I can see why, but at least it wasn't like, oh, the light bulb burned out.
right. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been because we replaced, we didn't, he just took the bulbs out and screwed them in and out. He didn't take the cover off to change the bulbs. So,
Oh, got
yeah.
it. I wanted to just follow up one more thing. I don't know if you mentioned it live here or was one of our other conversations about writing down your gratitudes. Like, is that part of a practice that you have, or should we? Is there more benefit to a gratitude if you're writing it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, bottom line is do your gratitude practice, however that will look for you. If it's just like taking some time to sit and kind of take a few deep breaths and think of what makes you grateful and just really feel it, or if it's going out for a walk and feeling it, whatever, if you need to type it in a memo in your phone, it's all good if you just do it. But ultimately, the most benefit will be from actually taking, there's some connection between your writing with your pen and your hand
Mhm.
and your brain, which really solidifies that gratitude in your body. So the best way, yes, is to actually, and I have like a whole, I mean, anybody knows me, I have like 8,954 journals. So one of them is a gratitude journal that I do write
Oh,
down my gratitudes. But is that the only way? No. I mean, they're all good. The most important thing is to feel it. It's the feeling of the gratitude that creates that energy.
yeah.
That's really what we're looking for, that change of energy. So,
I would imagine even just going back and reading those is will give you that same benefit too. If you're
yes.
if you're like, I don't have any to write today, but I'll just read. And it sort of makes you feel good, right? Just
Yeah, yeah,
brain.
going back and like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was such a
Yeah.
great day. I feel
Yeah.
so for that. And yeah, and I think it's also important to note here that as we're doing our gratitude, to not just like, so grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for my job. We're not talking about the rote, like same thing every day. Just yeah, the important thing is to feel it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. It can be, I am so grateful for this cup of coffee right
Right.
now. Or it can be like, I'm so grateful for world peace. It doesn't matter how big or how small or what it is, but just the feeling is what's important. And I like to try and challenge myself and the people that I work with to try and find as many different things every day. Like, try not to be as grateful for the same thing every day.
Okay, but it is okay to be grateful for the same thing. You
It
don't
is absolutely,
worry about
absolutely. But
repeat. It's okay
the
to
more things, I mean, you can really broaden your horizons by trying to find the things you might not think to be grateful for. And Joy, you're not in camera. I don't know if
Oh, sorry.
that's okay. Um, um, yeah, the more in deeper you can dig to find the gratitude, it just kind of opens up more possibilities for the things you can be grateful for. So,
Yeah.
and also like the hard things too. Like I have a friend, Chip Franks, and he writes a lot about gratitude, and he has his 5 specific gratitude practices, and I can't name them here, but if you Google Chip Franks, I'm sure you could pull it up. But one of the things of his I like a lot is finding the gratitude for the harder things.
Mm.
So, I mean, we're all like the things are bad, but take the bad things, and if you can find something to be grateful for in that. Like here today, I'm at my son's house because my perfect, beautiful little angel granddaughter isn't feeling well, which is not a good thing. That makes grandma very, very sad.
Yeah.
But I am grateful that I have more time with my granddaughter.
Hmm.
I'm grateful that I was able to be here and to help my son when he needed me because her mom's out of town on a business trip, which was hard for her to leave her daughter when she's sick.
Hmm.
So yeah, so is my granddaughter being sick something to be grateful for? Absolutely not.
No,
But there are things to be grateful for in this unpleasant situation. So
right. And she certainly is grateful that you're there. She loves you.
yeah, yeah.
Because I think, as I recall, you are the world's best grandma.
I
It was
have the
it was
paper
in
that says
writing. I
so.
saw it in writing.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I was at home, I could show you, but it says world best grandma ever.
Yeah.
So,
So
yep,
there you
that's me,
go. Great. Well, there's her little gratitude, her,
right?
her written
Yep.
gratitude. So we'd love to invite people to tell us what you're grateful for today. Maybe it's that the sun came out or that you got up today or you went to the bathroom and there's toilet paper. Whatever it is, there's
Yep.
always something.
Yep. Be
So,
grateful you didn't step in dog pee in the morning. It doesn't have to
yeah.
be like it. Yeah, it can be anything. It can be
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, Joy. Put it in the chat. We'd love to hear what you're grateful for. And share the love, share the gratitude. Be grateful for, help your friends be grateful. And the
Mhm.
more we can share, because like we were talking about earlier, the higher emotions have a higher vibration. And the more we can spread love and gratitude, that's the virus that we need to spread is the love and gratitude.
Exactly. Well said. All right, Dorothy. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a drop. See you next time.
Bye.